Hey everyone, and welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be plugging into something pretty electrifying.
Okay.
Tesla energy. I think a
Ooh.
lot of you out there are pretty curious about Tesla. But maybe you're looking beyond just the cars. And let me tell you,
Yeah,
what I found digging through all these reports is that Tesla's energy business is way bigger than I ever imagined.
I bet.
We're talking their Q2 and Q3 2024 updates, plus some other analyses that really get into the nitty-gritty.
Excellent.
I mean, seriously, I was shocked. It's
Yeah.
like discovering this whole secret Tesla world, hidden in plain sight.
Right?
So to kick things off, let's set the stage here. Tesla Energy.
Yeah.
What exactly are we talking about?
Well, when most people hear Tesla, they immediately picture those sleek cars zipping around.
Oh.
But what this deep dive is going to reveal is just how massive their energy operation actually is. And maybe even give you some insight into what's driving their strategy.
Okay, so it's not just about making cool gadgets. It's about, like, changing the entire energy game.
That's right.
But how long have they actually been in this energy business? Did this all start with those solar roof tiles I keep hearing about?
Actually, they've been at it for a while. Remember the Powerwall? That home battery system
Oh, yeah.
that launched back in 2015.
Okay.
Then in 2016, they acquired Solar City, bringing solar panels into the mix.
Right. Solar City. That's a big name in the solar world.
Huge.
So Tesla's been building this energy empire for almost a decade now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm starting to see how this all fits into their bigger plan.
It's all connected. All of this history gives us some context for why Tesla is so serious about energy. They're not just dipping their toes in the water. They're diving headfirst into creating a whole ecosystem of clean energy solutions.
So we've got the backstory. But let's get down to brass tacks. What exactly does Tesla Energy offer? What kind of products and services are we talking about?
Think of it as a one-stop shop for all things sustainable energy, at least for now. They've got the solar panels, of course, including that sleek solar roof that integrates directly into your house.
Yeah, those solar roof tiles are really slick. They look way better than those clunky old school panels you see on some roofs.
Exactly. Then there's the Powerwall for homes, which is basically a giant battery that lets you store energy generated from your solar panels, or even draw from the grid during off-peak hours when electricity is cheaper. Some Powerwalls have a capacity up to 13.5 kilowatt hours.
Oh, 13.5 kilowatt hours.
It's a
Are you
lot.
telling me one Powerwall could keep my fridge humming,
Yeah.
my lights on, and my wifey working for a whole day, even if the grid goes down?
That's right.
Sign me up. But what about larger scale projects? Like, what if you're not just powering a house, but a whole neighborhood or even a city?
That's where the Megapack comes in. Think of it as the Powerwall's big brother, but on steroids.
Okay.
We're talking multi-megawatt hour scale here.
Yeah?
Enough to power a small town
Oh,
or back up a whole hospital. These are used for utility scale projects, helping to stabilize the grid and smooth out the bumps when it comes to renewable energy sources.
hold on. Smooth out the bumps. You have to explain that one.
Sure.
For those of us who aren't electrical engineers.
Think about it, solar and wind power. Fantastic for clean energy.
Yeah.
But they're not always consistent. The sun sets, the wind dies down, and suddenly you have a dip in power generation. That's where the Megapack comes in. It acts like a giant buffer, storing energy when there's a surplus
Okay.
and releasing it when demand spikes or generation dips, ensuring a consistent flow of power.
Ah, I see. So it's like a giant energy savings account, making sure there's always enough power to go around, even when Mother Nature isn't cooperating.
That's a great way to put it.
But I've also heard that Tesla Energy isn't just about the hardware. They've got this whole software side to their business too, right?
You're absolutely right. Tesla Energy is about much more than just cool-looking batteries and solar panels. They've got some seriously sophisticated software, like Auto Bidder and virtual machine mode.
Okay, now you're just making up sci-fi terms. What in the world are auto bidder and virtual machine mode? It sounds like something straight out of the Matrix.
Well, Auto Bidder is pretty amazing. It's like a financial advisor. For your energy storage system,
Okay.
it analyzes energy markets in real time and automatically buys and sells energy
Right.
to maximize your savings or even generate revenue. Basically, it lets your battery make you money while you sleep.
Whoa. That's like having a little Wall Street wizard
Yeah.
managing my energy bill.
And what about this virtual machine mode? Does that involve, like, plugging my brain into the power grid?
Not quite. Virtual machine mode is all about grid stability. It helps the Megapack mimic the inertia of traditional power plants, which is crucial as we add more renewable energy sources to the grid.
Okay, I'm gonna need a bit more explanation on that one. What does inertia have to do with the power grid?
You see traditional power plants, like those burning fossil fuels,
Right.
have large rotating generators that provide inherent inertia to the grid. This inertia helps maintain a stable frequency and prevents sudden fluctuations,
Okay.
but renewable energy sources, like solar and wind.
Don't have that same inherent inertia. So as we transition to a cleaner grid, we need to find ways to compensate for this loss of inertia.
So virtual machine mode basically gives those big megapack batteries the ability to act like a spinning generator, even though there are no moving parts.
Exactly. It's a pretty ingenious solution. That allows Tesla to seamlessly integrate renewable energy into the grid without sacrificing stability and reliability.
Okay, now that is seriously cool. It's like Tesla's bringing the power grid
Uh,
into the 21st century with a combination of cutting-edge hardware and software.
that's a great way to put it. It's a holistic approach, which is what we need to make a real impact on the global energy landscape.
So we've established that Tesla Energy is a big deal,
Mm.
and they've got some seriously impressive tech. But how successful are they really? Are people actually buying all this stuff?
Well, if we look at their reports, the answer is a resounding yes. In 2023 alone, they saw a staggering 125% growth in energy storage deployment.
Wow. That's a whole lot of power walls and megapacks flying off the shelves.
It is.
125% growth. That's insane.
Mm.
Tesla Energy is clearly onto something big here.
Mm.
But I also noticed something interesting in the reports.
Oh.
While energy storage is booming, their solar installations actually decreased by 36%.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with that?
Now that's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
On the surface, it seems counterintuitive,
Yeah.
right? Energy storage is exploding, but solar is taking a dip. What gives?
Yeah.
But when we zoom out and look at the bigger picture, it starts to make sense.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Help me connect the dots here. Why would solar installations be down, while the rest of the Tesla Energy business seems to be thriving?
Well, first off, let's remember that Tesla's energy business overall is on fire. It's actually becoming their highest margin division.
So they're not exactly hurting for cash.
Not at all.
But what's the story behind the solar slowdown? Are people suddenly hating on solar panels?
It's likely a strategic shift in focus.
Okay.
Think about it. The demand for megapacks is absolutely through the roof right now. As utilities and companies scramble to modernize their grids and incorporate more renewables, it seems like Tesla is wisely prioritizing megapack production because that's where the biggest growth potential lies. It's all about striking while the iron is hot.
Makes sense. It's like they're saying, hey, we'll get to those solar panels eventually, but right now,
Yep.
we've got to focus on these giant batteries that everyone wants. But they haven't completely abandoned solar rights.
Of course not. They're still offering panels and roofs. And I'm willing to bet that those new mega factories they're building will eventually boost production across the board. Plus, we have to consider that record 30.5% gross margin for the energy business in Q3 2024. That tells me they're figuring out how to make it all work financially. And they're becoming more profitable in the process.
Right, because saving the planet is great. But it also has to make financial sense. Or it simply won't be sustainable in the long run.
Absolutely.
So who's actually buying all this Tesla energy? Are we talking about regular folks like me and you? Or is it mostly big corporations and utility companies?
It's a surprisingly diverse mix, actually. You've got everyday people like you and me getting power walls for their homes.
Okay.
This has become incredibly popular, especially with growing concerns about power outages and grid reliability. People want peace of mind knowing that their lights will stay on no matter what.
I can definitely see the appeal. If I lived in an area prone to blackouts, I'd want a power wall too.
Yeah. But what about businesses? What's driving their interest in Tesla Energy?
Businesses are realizing that going solar and using power packs is not only good for the environment, but also good for their bottom line. They can reduce their energy costs
Yeah.
and boost their green image, which is becoming increasingly important for attracting customers.
Yeah, these days everyone wants to know that the companies they support are doing their part to be sustainable.
Right.
It's a win-win for businesses and the planet. But I'm guessing that the real heavy hitters in the Tesla energy market are the big utility companies.
You got it.
Right.
Utilities are going crazy for megapacks. Well, can you blame them? They're under a lot of pressure to clean up their act and make their grids more resilient. Plus, these megapacks can help them save money in the long run by reducing their reliance on expensive peaker plants.
Exactly. And the best part is that Tesla isn't just selling them batteries. They're working with utilities to design and implement smart grid solutions. It's a true partnership where they're collaborating to build the grid of the future.
Can you give us an example, like a specific project that really showcases this collaboration between Tesla and a utility company?
Absolutely. One that immediately comes to mind is the Moss Landing project in California.
Ooh, Moss Landing. I've heard of that one. I think it uses hundreds of those megapacks.
Right, you're exactly right. It just goes to show you the scale that Tesla is operating on in this space. They're not just tinkering around the edges, they're playing a leading role in shaping the future of energy.
It's like Tesla Energy is the superhero of the energy world, swooping in to save the day with their giant batteries and their innovative software.
I love that analogy. And like any good superhero, they've got some secret weapons up their sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
Or should I say, moats?
Moats, like the ones surrounding a castle. What do moats have to do with clean energy?
Well, in the business world, a moat refers to a competitive advantage that makes it difficult for others to copy or compete with you.
Ah, okay. So what are Tesla Energy's moats? What makes them stand out from the crowd?
Their battery technology is a huge one. Years of developing batteries for electric vehicles have given them a significant edge.
Right.
They can produce batteries that are more efficient, longer lasting, and more cost effective than many of their competitors.
That makes sense. They've been in the battery game longer than almost anyone else, so they've had more time to refine their technology
Yeah,
and figure out how to make those batteries sing.
right. Another key moat is their vertical integration.
Okay.
They control a large portion of the production process, from sourcing raw materials to manufacturing and even installation.
So they're not just assembling parts from other companies,
Right.
they're doing a lot of the heavy lifting themselves.
Right. This gives them greater control over costs,
Yeah.
quality,
Yeah.
and speed.
Thanks to more flexibility and agility.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's their software ecosystem. We've talked about auto bidder and in virtual machine mode.
Yeah.
But there's a whole suite of software solutions that set Tesla Energy apart. These tools not only enhance the performance and value of their products, but they also create a stickier ecosystem for their customers.
Sticky ecosystem. You got to write that one down for me. I'm picturing something involving honey and flypaper, and that can't be right.
Think of it this way. Once a utility company integrates their grid with Tesla's software and starts using AutoBidder to manage their energy storage,
Yeah.
it becomes a lot harder for them to switch to a competitor. They're locked into Tesla's ecosystem. It's like choosing between Apple and Android. Once you're all in on one,
Right.
it's a pain to switch.
Ah, I see. So it's not just about the cool gadgets. It's about the whole ecosystem that Tesla has built around them, making it a smooth and seamless experience for customers.
Right. Which in turn makes them less likely to jump ship.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. Tesla Energy is more than just a side project for Elon Musk to tinker with between rocket launches. It's a serious business with massive potential, backed by some pretty strong competitive advantages.
Yeah.
It's like they've got the brains, the brawn, and the business savvy all rolled into one.
Could have said it better myself. And we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, really?
We haven't even touched on their global reach yet.
Oh, that's right. I remember reading something about massive projects in Australia, giant batteries down under, kangaroos hopping around solar panels. It sounds like something out of a futuristic travel brochure.
That's a great place to pick up in part 2.
Okay.
Tesla's making waves all over the world, and their global expansion is a key part of their strategy.
All right, folks. We're going to take a quick break to recharge our own batteries, but we'll be back soon with more on Tesla Energy's global adventures, so stay tuned.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of Tesla Energy.
All right, before the break, we were getting all hyped about Tesla Energy's global reach and those massive battery projects down under.
Yeah.
Tell me more about those.
If you think the U.S. projects are impressive, wait till you hear what they're doing in Australia.
Okay.
They've got some seriously huge batteries down under, helping to power the land of sunshine and koalas.
Okay, spill the beans. I'm all ears.
All right.
What kind of energy magic are they conjuring up on the other side of the world?
Picture this, the Hornsdale Power Reserve in South Australia, affectionately known as the Big Battery.
Okay.
It was already one of the world's largest battery storage systems when it was first installed, but get this, they've expanded it to a whopping 193.5 megawatt hours.
Hold on. 193.5 megawatt hours. My brain is trying to wrap itself around that number. What does a battery that big even do? Is it like a giant backup generator for the entire continent?
It's actually more versatile than that. It can do a whole bunch of things. It provides backup power to the grid, steps in to smooth out the fluctuations from all those solar and wind farms, and can even respond to sudden changes in energy demand, keeping the lights on during those Aussie heat waves. It's basically a giant shock absorber for the electricity grid, keeping everything running smoothly.
So it's like a superhero for the Australian energy grid, swooping in to save the day. When things get a little shaky, it makes a lot of sense, especially in a place like Australia that's rapidly embracing solar and wind energy. They need a way to store all that power
Yeah,
and make sure it's available when they need it.
exactly. And that's just one project.
Really?
They've also got the Victorian Big Battery in Geelong, another massive installation that really cements Tesla's presence in Australia's energy market.
Wow, 2 giant batteries.
Mhm.
It seems like Tesla's really going all in on Australia. What is it about Australia that's so appealing for them?
Yeah. Australia is a prime location for renewable energy. They've got loads of sunshine and plenty of wind. But their grid infrastructure needs some serious upgrading to handle all that clean power. That's where Tesla comes in. They're providing the missing piece of the puzzle with their giant batteries and smart software, becoming key players in Australia's energy transition.
It's almost poetic, isn't it? The company known for its futuristic electric cars is now helping to build a cleaner future for the land of kangaroos and eucalyptus trees.
I love that. And it's not just an Australian story. Tesla Energy is planting its flag all over the world.
Oh, really?
They're making moves in Europe, too. With projects in France and other countries, these projects might be smaller in scale compared to the Australian mega batteries, but it just shows that Tesla's thinking big and acting globally. They're not just content with conquering one continent at a time.
So it's not just a case of Tesla goes to Australia. They're expanding strategically all over the globe, finding opportunities to make a difference in diverse energy markets. It's like they're playing a global game of energy chess, and they're thinking several moves ahead.
That's a great way to put it. They're strategically positioning themselves as the leaders in the clean energy revolution, not just in one country, but on a global scale. It's pretty impressive when you think about it.
It is. And speaking of impressive, what does the future hold for Tesla Energy? Are we talking even bigger batteries, even more ambitious projects? What's next on their world domination agenda?
Based on their reports and the trends we're seeing in the energy market, the future looks incredibly bright for Tesla Energy. They're expecting strong growth in 2024, particularly for those megapacks. It seems like everyone wants a piece of the giant battery action.
No surprise there. With the energy transition gaining momentum and the increasing need for grid-scale storage, I can only imagine the demand for megapacks is going to skyrocket.
You're absolutely right. And Tesla is already gearing up to meet that demand. They're building more megafactories to churn out those batteries at an even faster pace. They've already got one up and running in Lathrop, California. Get this. That factory can produce 200 megapacks per week.
200 megapacks a week. It's just mind-boggling.
It was incredible, and they're not stopping there. They're building more megafactories, which means they'll be able to pump out even more megapacks to meet that global demand. It seems like they're on a mission to build a battery for every grid on the planet.
So what you're saying is Tesla Energy is basically printing money, or rather printing batteries that will make them a lot of money. They've found themselves in the perfect position, at the perfect time, and they're capitalizing on it in a big way.
It's definitely a smart business move. The global energy transition is creating a massive market for Tesla's products and services. And they're not just riding the wave, they're actively shaping it.
Plus, let's not forget that they're constantly innovating. They're not content to just rest on their laurels and turn out the same old batteries. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with battery technology.
Absolutely.
Right.
Remember their Master Plan 3, they're aiming for even better battery technology, including cobalt-free batteries.
Okay. Tell me more about these cobalt-free batteries. Why is that such a big deal?
Firstly, it makes their batteries more sustainable and ethical by reducing their reliance on cobalt, which is often mined in conditions that are, shall we say, less than ideal.
Right.
Secondly, it could potentially make their batteries even cheaper to produce.
Which means more profit for Tesla and hopefully lower prices for consumers like us. It's a win-win all around. It's like they're saying, hey, we're going to build the best batteries in the world, and we're going to do it in a way that's good for the planet and your wallet. Talk about ambition.
It's a bold vision, and if they can pull it off, it could be game-changing for the entire energy industry. They're really pushing the envelope and setting a new standard for what's possible.
So it seems like Tesla Energy is firing on all cylinders. They've got the products, the technology, the vision, and the global reach. But what about the people behind all of this? What's the culture like at Tesla Energy? Are they a bunch of serious engineers huddled over circuit boards? Or is there a bit more fun and energy to the company?
Well, I can't speak to the day-to-day culture within Tesla Energy, But what I can say is that they're not afraid to think outside the box and challenge the status quo.
That's for sure. It seems like their whole ethos is about disrupting the old ways of doing things
Yeah.
and forging a new path towards a cleaner, more sustainable energy future. They're not just building batteries, they're building a movement.
That's a great way to put it. And their success is inspiring other companies, governments, and individuals to follow suit. It's like they're throwing down the gauntlet and saying, hey, if we can do this, so can you.
It's a powerful message. So we've covered their global ambitions, their innovative technology, and their market dominance. But let's get back to those massive batteries for a second. What are the real-world implications of these mega projects? How are they actually changing the way people live and work?
Well, for people living in areas that are prone to blackouts or have unreliable grids, these batteries can be a lifesaver.
Yeah.
They can provide a reliable source of backup power, ensuring that hospitals, schools, and businesses can continue operating, even when the main power grid goes down.
That's huge. It's like having an insurance policy
Yeah.
for your entire energy system. Knowing that there's a giant battery standing by, ready to kick in when needed, would give people a sense of security and peace of mind.
Exactly. And it's not just about keeping the lights on during emergencies. These batteries can also help to stabilize energy prices and make renewable energy more reliable.
How so? Explain that one to me like I'm a 5-year-old obsessed with renewable energy.
Imagine you have a big wind farm spinning away, generating tons of clean energy, but then suddenly the wind dies down. Without a battery to store that excess energy, you'd have to ramp up a fossil fuel plant to make up the difference, which is bad for the environment and can be expensive.
So the battery acts like a buffer, smoothing out those dips and peaks in renewable energy generation.
That's a perfect analogy. It's like a giant energy sponge, soaking up the excess when it's available and releasing it when it's needed.
And by smoothing out those fluctuations, you can avoid having to rely on those dirty and expensive fossil fuel plants. It's a win for the environment and a win for your wallet.
This is all starting to make sense now. It's like Tesla is creating a symphony of clean energy, with their solar panels and wind farms as the instruments, and their giant batteries as the conductor, orchestrating it all to create a harmonious and sustainable energy system.
I love that analogy. It's like they're composing the soundtrack to a cleaner, brighter future. And the best part is the concert has only just begun. We've got a front row seat to this energy revolution. And it's just getting started. But before we get too carried away with all this exciting future talk, let's bring it back down to earth for a moment. What are some of the challenges that Tesla Energy is facing? What are the potential roadblocks on their path to world domination?
Well, as with any ambitious endeavor, there are bound to be challenges along the way. One of the biggest challenges is scaling up production to meet the rapidly growing demand. Building mega factories is one thing, but ensuring a steady supply of raw materials and skilled labor is another challenge altogether.
Right, it's one thing to have the blueprints for a shiny new battery factory, but it's quite another to actually get it up and running and producing those batteries at the scale and speed that's needed.
Exactly. It's a complex logistical dance, and Tesla needs to make sure they don't stumble.
What about competition? Are there other companies out there trying to muscle in on Tesla's battery turf?
Of course. The energy storage market is getting increasingly crowded, with established players like LG Chem and Fluence Energy, as well as a host of startups, all vying for a slice of the pie.
So it's not just a one-horse race. Tesla's got some serious competition breathing down their necks.
That's right. But remember those moats we talked about earlier? Tesla has some key advantages, particularly their battery technology and their brand recognition.
Right. They've got that Elon Musk magic working for them. People trust the Tesla brand, and they're willing to pay a premium for their products. But what about those other companies? Are they just playing catch-up? Or do they have some tricks up their sleeves?
Well, some of these competitors have deep pockets and years of experience in the energy industry. They're not going down without a fight. They're investing heavily in research and development. And they're constantly looking for ways to improve their products and gain an edge.
So it's a dynamic and competitive landscape, and Tesla can't afford to get complacent. They need to keep innovating and pushing the boundaries if they want to stay ahead of the pack.
Exactly. It's going to be a fascinating race to watch. And it's not just about technological innovation, it's also about navigating the complex regulatory landscape and building strong partnerships with governments and utility companies around the world.
The politics of energy. It's never as simple as just building a better battery, is it?
Unfortunately not. There are always political and regulatory hurdles to overcome, especially when you're talking about disrupting an entire industry.
So it sounds like Tesla Energy has a lot on their plate. They've got to scale up production, fend off competitors, navigate complex regulations, and convince the world that their vision for the future of energy is the right one.
It's a Herculean task, to be sure. But if anyone can pull it off, it might just be Tesla.
Well, folks, we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We've gone from kangaroo-sized batteries in Australia to the cutthroat world of energy politics. It's clear that Tesla Energy is a company on a mission. They're not afraid to shake things up along the way.
They're definitely a force to be reckoned with, and it's going to be fascinating to see how their journey unfolds in the years to come.
That's right. But before we get too lost in pondering the future, let's shift gears and bring it back down to earth. What does all of this mean for the average person? How does Tesla Energy actually impact our lives on a day-to-day basis?
That's a great question, and one that we'll explore in more detail in part 3 of our deep dive.
All right, stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back after a quick break. Welcome back, energy enthusiasts. We've journeyed from solar rooftops to mega batteries down under and explored the ins and outs of Tesla Energy's grand plans. But now, let's bring it all home.
What does this Tesla energy revolution actually mean for everyday folks like you and me?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's easy to get caught up in the hype of giant batteries and futuristic technology, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to how this impacts our daily lives. Exactly.
So let's ditch the jargon and get real. How does Tesla energy actually make a difference for the average person? Are we talking cheaper electricity bills, fewer blackouts, or maybe even the ability to power our homes with unicorn tiers?
Well, I'm not sure about the unicorn tiers, but Tesla Energy is definitely making clean energy more accessible and affordable for both homeowners and businesses.
Okay.
Take the Powerwall, for instance. It's becoming a popular choice for people who want to store solar energy, reduce their reliance on the grid, and have a reliable backup power source in case of an outage.
Right, and as we discussed earlier, those power outages seem to be happening more and more frequently these days, with extreme weather events on the rise. Having a power wall would be like having a safety net for your home's energy needs. No more scrambling for candles and flashlights when the grid goes down.
Peace of mind in a box.
Oh.
And the benefits extend beyond individual homes. Tesla Energy is also working closely with utility companies to make the entire grid more resilient and sustainable. Remember those megapacks we talked about?
Yeah. They're playing a crucial role in modernizing the grid, making it capable of handling the increasing amounts of renewable energy that are coming online.
So it's like Tesla's building a bridge to a cleaner, more reliable energy future. One Powerwall and megapack at a time. It's like they're saying, hey, old clunky power grid, step aside. It's time for something smarter, cleaner, and more resilient.
It's a pretty bold vision, but they seem to be pulling it off. And it's not just about the technology itself. Tesla Energy is also shifting the way we think about energy. They're proving that it's possible to have a clean, reliable, and affordable energy system that doesn't rely on fossil fuels.
It's like they're rewriting the rules of the energy game. They're showing us that clean energy isn't just a pipe dream. It's a practical and achievable solution. And it's not just good for the planet. It can be good for your wallet, too.
Exactly.
And their success is inspiring others to follow suit. We're seeing more and more companies, governments, and individuals embracing clean energy solutions. It's like Tesla sparked a global movement, and the momentum is building.
It is like a ripple effect, spreading outward from those giant batteries in Australia to homes and businesses all over the world.
It's pretty amazing to think that just a few years ago, the idea of a company like Tesla, disrupting the energy industry, seemed far-fetched. Now they're a major player, and they're showing the world what's possible.
It's a testament to their vision, their innovation, and their sheer determination. They've set ambitious goals, and they're actually delivering on them, which is incredibly inspiring to see.
It's like watching a real-life superhero movie. But instead of capes and superpowers, they've got batteries and solar panels.
I love that analogy. They're definitely the superheroes of the clean energy world, fighting for a brighter, more sustainable future.
Well, folks, we've reached the end of our electrifying deep dive into Tesla Energy. We've explored their impressive technology, their global ambitions, and their impact on our everyday lives. It's clear that Tesla Energy is more than just a side hustle for Elon Musk. It's a force to be reckoned with, and they're shaping the future of energy right before our eyes.
It's been a fascinating journey, hasn't it? And the most exciting part is that this is just the beginning. Who knows what incredible innovations and breakthroughs they'll come up with next?
That's the beauty of it all, isn't it? The future of energy is full of possibilities, and Tesla Energy is leading the charge. And who knows, maybe one day we'll all be powering our homes with unicorn tiers after all.
One can only hope. But in the meantime, let's keep our eyes on the prize. A cleaner, more sustainable energy future for all.
That's right. So stay curious, stay informed, and stay energized. And if you're feeling inspired, maybe consider exploring some clean energy options for your own home. You might be surprised at what's available.
Until next time, stay charged up and keep exploring the world of knowledge.